Hey, today I want to show you how to do a cable cast on. You would use this if you ever wanted to add stitches to cast on without having another, the tail end of your yarn here. So it's when you start out with your piece, you have both sides. You have the tail end and then where you make the slip knot, and then you have your working yarn. But sometimes you don't have both ends. For example, if you need to add stitches to a mitten thumb hole, for example, or you need to add some stitches, add a handful of stitches where you're going to put a sleeve on a sweater, for example. It seems to me to make a nicer finished edge to pick up than just, doing your normal half hitch like this, where you would just add some loops, like that. You can certainly do that. I think that tends to loosen up a little bit, and say, and the edge is okay. It's fine. You can kind of see that, but I definitely prefer a more secure cast on, and there will be times when you'll need to do this. So, all right. So what we want to do here is take your right hand needle and go in between the first and second stitches. So we're not going to catch that. We're not going into the loop like that. You don't want to do that. You want to go between the actual loops, okay? And then we're just going to wrap around counterclockwise as if to knit and go ahead and pull that through. Then we're going to place it back onto the left needle. Okay, there, you've done one. So now you're going to do the exact same thing. You're going to go between. This first one will be a little tight. You might want to be mindful of pulling through enough so it's not super tight. So pull that loop through and then put it back on the left needle. Okay, again, you're going to go in, wrap around as if to knit, pull that through, and put it back on the left side. You can just do as many as you need to this way. I'll do a couple more and then I'll show you what the edge looks like. These needles are pretty dull, as you can see, so they're a little more challenging to poke through there and grab with. I've had them for quite some time and they were not very expensive to start with, so that's all right. Let me do a couple more and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, last time. Through, around, and pull this back through and put it back on the left hand needle. And then you can simply continue your knitting. You can purl, you can turn it and purl back across. You can do whatever you need to now that you've got those extra stitches cast on. And that does make a little bit more secure edge with which to pick up from. If this were, pardon my farm hands here, if this were a side where you needed to pick this up and knit the other direction, you could. And that's a pretty secure edge from which to do that. So, okay, as always, leave me a comment or a question if you need to. Press that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.